I'm Deb.
And I'm Bob.
And this is Talk to the Paw. All right, so let's break this down for people. The dog park. The first thing I see when I'm there is the entrance, bringing the dog into the dog park. I see all the dogs come running, and there's this congregation right at the gate there to get in. And I see a lot of scuffles and a lot of, negative things going on right when the dog comes in.
Yeah.
Now, at your daycare, I suppose you have some rules.
Yeah, I think the dog parks have one way in. But the daycares, we have different gates, so I can trick them if I need to. I go, hey, we're going to go into this gate, and then quick run to the other one and let them in. And they have to run back around. But at the dog park, you got that one entrance there. And yeah, when you come driving up the drive, they see you through the chain link, and they've been through the routine 100 times. They see you get out of the car, so they're all waiting at the gate. And I think originally it starts off pretty innocently, but then once you let the dog in, depending on the temperament of the dog, they don't like that bombardment of every dog in there giving them the sniff down.
Yeah, I wouldn't like it either if I walked into a place and people just running at me and
it's not conducive to how dogs should meet. They can't.
Correct.
They can't continue to move. They end up getting frozen in one spot.
Correct.
So then they're stuck doing one of two things: either snapping or protecting their personal bubble, or just rolling over and submitting and giving into that, which just depends on the dog.
So if you're a dog owner at the dog park, when you see new people come, don't let your dog go crowd the gate. If everybody kind of worked together as a team and just created a little space, a little movement so that dog could come in, that's the best scenario.
Yeah, call them away from the door. Yeah. Another cute little trick could be if you come in and you do have some sort of something with you, tennis balls or something, throw it out there. They'll all go chase it and give you that moment to come in. You can even fake that you have a treat in your hand. Here, guys.
Yeah.
And they'll look right here and they act like you're going to throw it, and they'll all turn that way, and they can at least let them in or something.
Yeah, I think that's a better idea because we've had issues with toys, some object guarders.
Yeah.
So create space. Get creative. Join forces. Create some space when bringing the dog in. If you're going to bring your dog in on a leash, that loose leash is so important because any tension on the leash is going to, that tension goes right down from your soul right down into the dog's brain. And secondly, if the leash is taut, it interferes with the dogs going through their proper greeting ritual.
Yeah. It creates frustration too. I can't get away.
Absolutely.
I can't move. I can't do stuff.
Right.
I don't know where to go, and I've got all of this in my face.
Yeah. So a loose leash, keeping that leash loose at all times will help not create tension in the dog. And then lastly, move. When you come into the gate, through the gate should be one swift motion. Get all the dogs moving. Keep your dog moving because it's that freezing, that stopping. That's where the problem starts.
The calm before the storm. Usually when you let dogs in too, if they're all interested in the new dog, you get them moving, they pee on the fence, and you keep moving. A couple of them stop to sniff in there, and you just keep tailing them off, and pretty soon, you're pretty free, and you can unhook your dog and do whatever you're going to do.
Absolutely. Yes. Good advice. Okay, so now our dog has made it safely into the gate, and
yes, we have.
It's playtime. A couple things about playtime. You shouldn't allow rough play. You don't want to let it escalate. Right?
Yeah, the physical contact, a lot of this, I always tell people it's no different than me playing with my brothers, If Dad allowed us to roughhouse in the house, pretty soon one of us was crying.
Yes, absolutely. That's a really good scenario. And, toys and or food, it might be okay for your dog, but, dogs, we have object guarders, space invaders. I don't like to see toys and food.
You should always just prepare for the worst case scenario. I go to the dog park and I tell myself there's going to be a dog that's food aggressive there and toy protective and all that, so we go prepared.
Especially if it's their own toys.
Yeah, the only way to get away with that is like what we do here at the daycares, and that's if you want to bring a tennis ball, you bring one for everybody in the class, and don't bring one at all.
Just like kids. They all better be the same tennis balls. Watch for fair play, and what we mean by that is it's kind of a tit for tat. 1 minute your dog is on top, and the next minute the other dog, is on top, and 1 minute your dog is chasing, and the next minute the other dog is chasing. Just equal play, fair play almost.
Right.
Then it's healthy. It's healthy play for the dogs. It's not one dog targeting another dog or being relentless.
Right. You know, it's hard to tell. I mean, the question comes up a lot in puppy parties about, well, does Fluffy like that kind of play, being rolled over all the time and everything else? And you have a pretty good rule about that, where you just kind of pull the dog out and for just a quick second and let them go again. If the dog goes back in to re-engage and play again, we gotta let them go. But if they flee, then it gives you the clue that, okay, this is kind of stressing them out a little bit, and
correct.
You should probably protect them, break it up for a second.
We as trainers look for rebound. So whether your dog, if you think your dog is being a little too rough or a little too harsh, you just disengage the dog for a second and watch the body posture of the other dog. Does the other dog come back, you know, for more? Or does he like, oh, thank God, I'm out of here?
Right.
Yeah. So that's good. Participate in your dog's playtime. You know, if you play, and then Rover, come, click the leash on and go home, what's going to happen is your dog is going to associate the word come with having to go home. So periodically, while you're at the dog park, you should call the dog to you, just reconnect. Reconnect with the dog. Good job, you're doing a good job. You know, maybe handle the collar a little bit and then let them go back and play. So come doesn't always mean we're leaving.
Right.
Yeah, because dogs are smart.
Yeah, the come command will, in effect, just be training your dog that when I say come here, it means we're going home. Yeah, sorry, your playtime's over. And they'll just go, no, I don't want to go home yet.
Yeah, exactly.
5 more minutes, Mom.
Yeah, 5. Exactly. We'll be right back and talk about some very important safety rules. All right, so what you see here is, this is pretty much how I have house trained every single one of my puppies. This is just a puppy pen. There's a lot of variations of this. You could use even a human's playpen. But you can see 2/3 of the space inside is the dog's bed. And the other third is either puppy pads or some newspapers, whatever you like. There's a couple of chew toys in there. Puppies always need chew toys. So this is where your puppy should be whenever you can't watch them 100%. And this is where your puppy should be at night, and this is where your puppy should be if you leave the house. The theory is here that the puppy has a choice. Puppies instinctually will not eliminate where they eat or sleep, so puppies should have their food and water in here. Water should be taken out about 8 o'clock at night, long before you take them out for the last time. I don't know.
You put their food and water in there?
Yeah, so you take the water out at 8 o'clock at night, long before you take them out for the last time, and this is really where the puppies should sleep. So the logic is here that the puppies have a choice. So if you do make a mistake and you do leave them in there a little longer than they can bear, they will get off their little bed and go to the paper or the puppy pad and eliminate there. I've trained probably 6 puppies this way of my own or family members' puppies, and it has worked beautifully every single time. Once the puppy gets a little older, has some more bladder control, you take the newspaper or the puppy pads out, you put them by the door that you want the dog to go out of, and the puppy will eventually start going to the pad or the newspaper at the door, and that's your indicator to let them go outside and go potty. Okay, a few facts about pit bulls. Just jump right in if you know something I don't, which she probably does. Petey from the Little Rascals is a pit bull.
Yes.
He kind of looks like Domino, too, a little bit with the black spot around his eye. Can't argue that he's not good with children.
No. Right.
I mean, he's like Lassie, right? Helen Keller, President Roosevelt, and Fred Astaire all were pit bull lovers.
Yes.
I didn't know that. The American Temperament Test Society rates pitties in the top 5 breeds for stability with children.
I believe it.
That's a statistic. That's a fact.
I believe that. If you go to different sites and you look at the dog's bite histories, pit bulls typically have not even been on the top of the list. Of course, media, they're on top of the list for all that, but you see a lot of, I think Golden Retrievers at one point held the record for being the biters of other dogs and of people for a long time, but that also could be just that,
there's a lot of Goldens.
There might be a lot of Goldens.
I have to be honest, 17 years in dog training, I've never been bitten by a pit bull. My worst bite was from a Shih Tzu, still sporting the scars, very inappropriately named Angel.
Of course, yep.
I had a Scotty bite me in the calf of the leg, and I had a Rottie Shepherd mix try to take my thigh off, but never.
I've never taken a bite from a pit bull either. Worst bite I ever took was from a cattle dog mix.
Oh, I remember that day.
That was a good
That
one.
was awful.
That was a learning experience for me.
Yeah.
And another just complete lab mutt mix was the other one that I took a good bite from at some point. But no pit bulls. I mean, I've never been bit. I've seen pit bulls in fights and scuffles, but I can tell you I've seen every breed of dog in a fight and a scuffle.
Yeah, that's kind of what we do, right? Yeah, especially with the pack rehab. Pit bulls are good in apartments, even though they're strong and they're powerful, they're not on the high energy end usually once they reach social maturity. They really kind of love to be with their owner, lounging around on the couch, a good hour walk for these guys is usually...
Yeah, I understand that they're still a terrier. They still need that. But yeah, that's what I meant by they're really tolerant. You can coop them up in an apartment. You can put kids crawling all over them all the time, and they're pretty tolerant. I mean, I know that my Emma wouldn't put up with near the things that I've seen some pit bulls deal with.
Yeah, and Emma's a cattle dog.
And that's a cattle dog.
Yeah. And pitties are easy to train.
Yeah.
Everyone I've worked with, they were very in tune to pleasing their owners. They really just want to please.
They fall to me. They fall right smack in the middle. Sometimes you get some blockheads. Sometimes you get some prodigies. I think. But they're trainable. I mean, I never go into it like I am with the Basset Hound. Oh, here we go. How am I going to motivate this guy?
Right. Dum-de-dum-de-dum. A few myths. You mentioned the locking jaw. I've also heard that pit bulls have a high tolerance for pain. Come on, they're living, breathing animals. I think any dog in arousal can be resistant to pain. It's just like, the mothers who can lift the bus off their child, or, you can do some miraculous things when your adrenaline's really...
That fight or flight.
Yeah, fight or flight. But to say that they are insensitive to pain, again, there's nothing biological that supports that.
Nope.
Unpredictable, you hear, how many times have you heard it? They just snap for no reason, or they'll turn on the owner.
They snap and latch onto their prey.
And they never let go, ever. It's like jewelry then, you're wearing the pit bull forever. It's just silly.
No, they're very stable. I mean, the thing that comes in with the locking of the jaw, I have seen pit bulls in excited states and Staffordshire Terriers and these different dogs, and they do bite and they hang on out of panic. It's not out of, I'm going to tear a chunk out of you. I think that's just instinctively where they go. I hang on. That's the safe way to get out of all this, is to just hang on and not let go. So they do that, and I have seen that, and that's typical to that breed.
Right.
But, you think about the German Shepherd. Della would bite me 5 or 6 or 7 or 8 or 10 times.
Correct, because that herding has more of a nipping instinct.
Which in some cases, I'd rather have a dog bite me and hang on here than bite me 7, 8, 10 times all over. Yeah, I mean, so really, what's more dangerous? It's just a judgment call.
Right, exactly, right. Another fact from ATTS, the American Temperament Test Society, recent study of 122 breeds states pitties have a passing rate. Now they're doing a temperament test, so they're testing their temperament. Pitties have a passing rate of 83.9%, Beagles 78.2%, and Golden Retrievers 83.2%. So according to ATTS, the pitties have a higher temperament test passing score than Golden Retrievers. And if you want more information on that, just go to www.atts.org. You can look up the study yourself.
Thinking about this, the trainings that I have currently right now in these pack rehabs, and I'm dealing with a lot of human aggression and dog-on-dog aggression, not one of them is a pit bull. There's every other breed under the sun, but there's nobody coming to me saying, hey, my pit bull's attacking people and he's getting all crazy. Right. It just boils down to the owner's mentality, look at my tough dog. You know, if you see the pit bull named Razor or Death,
or I love those big collars with the studs all over.
You know, you really look at the
nice.
owner. You know, I know
Yeah.
some pit bull owners out there that their dogs, they're the biggest baby spoiled rotten on the planet and would never do anything wrong. The unpredictability comes from ownership and from the environment, absolutely. In my opinion. That's my opinion.
Right. My experience is all dogs, not all dogs, most dogs with challenges, it's owner error.
Mm-hmm.
Very seldom do we come across a dog that has some kind of a genetic miswiring in the brain. It's usually just owners getting the wrong breed or just the wrong dog for their home, their lifestyle, and just a lot of pent-up energy.
It's a mentality. There's any dog out there will protect your house if this need comes, but people get the pities. They say the pit bull, that's the one that'll protect my house. I gotta have that. I gotta have my guard dog.
Yeah, well, they should get a German Shepherd.
They start treating them this way. That's rough. Well, then these dogs, somebody comes to the door. Oh, who's here? Well, pretty soon they're banging at the door, right?
Yeah.
Just like any other dog banging at the door to get out.
Well, they characteristically used as guard dogs and for intimidation tactics. I'm a big fan of Rottweilers too. I've had 3 Rotties in my life. My son Dylan has a Rottie now named Hagen. I'm a big fan. And again, Rotties are gentle. I've got pictures of Dylan as a 3-year-old boy just rolling on the floor with Roscoe. And Roscoe licking his face until, Dylan wet himself almost. I hope Dylan doesn't watch Talk to the Paw.
Yeah.
He would just lick his face and Dylan would laugh and laugh and laugh and laugh and laugh and laugh. I mean, just the greatest dog we ever had.
Rotties are awesome. They're big though and intimidating, and people try to use that to protect their yards or have a different mentality about what
it's sad. We have a couple different pitties that come to daycare. Calla Lily and Pip is a pit mix, and Domino, and there's several. We just have one that boarded. We did an intro, and her name was Libby, and she did great with the other dogs.
They do just as good as the rest.
They don't know their own strength sometimes, but that's with all of those bully breeds. They're wide and they're strong, and so they need a little help containing that. But my experience is they're great dogs.
Yeah.
Like any dog, they need the right environment, and
absolutely.
they do well.
It's like I said, it's that mentality. Back in the day, it was Dobermans, and then German Shepherds, and then Rotties, and then Pit Bulls. I don't know the exact order, but I do know that it goes through a cycle like that. And pretty soon.
Akitas, Chow Chows.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then one day it might not be Pit Bulls. It'll be Shih Tzus. Maybe.
Right now, Pit Bulls are the number one. They're the highest percentage of dogs euthanized in the United States, Pit Bulls. Do you watch Pit Bulls and Parolees? Do you ever watch that?
I have seen it now that you've mentioned it. Yes, I have had to check that out.
It's such a great storyline. If you haven't seen it, it's on the Animal Planet, and it's really a good story. Kind of scary, but it's a good story.
It's just it's the want. I don't see a whole bunch of people wanting different types of dogs, but those Pit Bulls are sought after. I sat in the Harvard Humane Society before, and they'll get some in, and just watching the mentality of folks that come in there. Oh, let me look at this one. Let me look at that one. You almost know right where they're going to go. And it's sad. It's really sad.
It's sad.
Yeah, and then you got all the backyard breeders.
With any breed.
Yeah, plugging them into the system, plugging them in.
Well, I hope that helps. If you had any judgment issues with Pit Bulls, my experience is they're great dogs.
I agree.
Good.
They're a good dog, and you got to take the same care as you would with any dog.
Exactly.